Okay. Okay, let's see if you retain that information. What do you know and what you don't know? So, the first one. Workplace safety is the responsibility of the person wearing the risk management hat. Is that true or false? Next. An injury at work, no matter how small, must be reported immediately to the person's supervisor and receive first aid attention. Is this true or false? Next, safety glasses, gloves, helmets and safety shoes, although not a fashion statement, must be worn on the job if the policy requires them. True or false? People have different work styles. Staff members would work best with piles of materials about their areas are just as safe from accident and injury as the clean freaks. Is that true or false? Safety is just common sense. We don't need to waste our time training people not to put their hands on a hot stove. Is that true or false? People walk around spilled liquids on the floor. The best thing to do is to wait for the housekeeping staff to clean up our spills. Is this true or false? Chairs or stools can be substituted for a ladder to get an item out of reach, as long as the employee spots a person using the chair or stool. Is this true or false? A sloppy worker is only in danger to himself. Is this true or false? Dress codes can decrease accidents and injuries. True or false? Where needed, special procedures for helping physically impaired employees and volunteers should be incorporated into the organisation's emergency plans. That's a tricky one. So is that one true or false? In a fire drill or a fire, never use the elevator to exit the building. Oh, sorry, I was there.
Oh, sorry.
Don't do it again.
No.
Next, no one needs instructions how to use a ladder. Well, some might agree with that one, but think about health and safety. Is that true or false? Next, it is inappropriate to install carpeting in areas where there is perpetual moisture problems, basically under drinking fountains and sinks, or on concrete floors without proper vapour barriers and subflooring. So basically, think about if you've got a carpet and you have a sink and the water's dripping and it soaks the carpet, could this be a danger to your health? Think about that water staining the carpet. After a while it starts to go a little bit mouldy and smelly. Could this be dangerous? Public areas of our facility must be accessible for people with varying degrees of mobility. So basically that's asking you, should public areas be made safe for everybody? Maybe someone in a wheelchair, maybe somebody who struggles to walk. Okay? The next one, staff members need to be trained to lift heavy objects, which can cause serious injuries. Now some people, when they bend over, they don't bend at the knees, they just bend over. Okay, so do staff members need to be trained to lift heavy objects which can cause serious injuries? Now, I'm going to tell you a secret. When I first started at a warehouse, and I know you've heard all this before, I was trained on how to lift heavy objects. Before that, I would just bend over and pick up the box. But apparently, you can pull your back, it can cause injuries. So I was taught what was called manual lifting or kinetic lifting. And this is where I had to bend at the knees and lift the box. Or if the box says two people have to do that. So there's a massive clue whether it's true or false. Next, we're going down to chemicals and cleaning supplies should be stored in a locked cabinet or storage room. Now think about chemicals in the science room. Can you just go and get them, or are they locked away and Rebecca has to get them? Or the cleaner's cupboard? Why does a cleaner have a cupboard that's locked? Think about what might be in there. There's more than toilet rolls or tissues and mops. Okay, next. It is unfriendly to require sign-in sheets or badges for visitors or vendors. Now just think about, would we let anybody just walk into the school? No. Why won't we let anybody walk in the school? Well, they could be a danger to us. We don't know who they are, we don't know where they come from. You know, we might come the end of the day of the school, might want to close, people might still be in the building. So I think people should sign in. We should know who they are, where they're from. They should wear a badge so that we know who they are. So is it true or false? Next, staff should be trained to check their vehicle before starting off an assignment to a high-risk area. Now I'm not sure about that one, that's a new one to me. I mean, when I have to go out to a pupil's house, I don't really check my vehicle before starting off. However, if it's a high-risk area, I would make sure that my doors were locked, that the vehicle was parked in a safe area. So it's up to you whether you think this is true or false. And finally, stress affects moral morale. So if you're not sure what morale means you know, your energy, are you being motivated to do the job. So if you're stressed out about something, are you going to be motivated to do the job? Can you get on with it? Can you do the job safely? I know for a fact that if my morale's low, if I'm not feeling motivated, I make silly mistakes, I might trip over. You know, I'm not making sure that my working area is safe. So is this true or false?